But if you can hate people for no reason, why can't you love somebody for no reason? Who am I to be the believe guy? Come on.
Starting to make more sense. Thank you. That definitely helps.
Hey, there she is.
Hey,
So you're part of Movement Makers. Welcome aboard. Amazing.
thank you. Thank you.
Part of that's doing the IG Live. So what do you got? How can I help?
Yeah. So first of all, I got your book yesterday. I already had bought, while I was waiting for it to get here, I'd already started reading it on listening to you and then reading it. So I've been going through it. It's amazing, taking lots of notes, and then I was getting the emails. But I think that the two issues I'm having is one, as a coach, for my coaching business, and I'm wanting to serve healthcare professionals. So I'm a dentist and I want to be helping physicians and dentists because I feel like, there's a lot of things that they are going through even pre-pandemic, but they, in terms of just taking care of themselves and, just stuff with professional development and growth and also just achieving even more. They're already high achievers, very ambitious people. So I want to be able to help them do even more, get their dream life, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then when we talk about movement, like the thing that is really overall passionate to me. So I moved to the States when I was 3 years old and had a little bit of difficulty in the beginning, learning English. We moved a lot, like in the 5 years that we first lived there, my dad was training. And so we were moving a lot of cities. So there is that part of me. And then of course I started doing hijab it's been about 23 years. I started covering as a Muslim.
Yep.
And then of course 9/11 happened, which didn't help things, with the media and the portrayal of, of Muslims. So I do have that very important passion for really having people connect and realize that we are more alike than different, really having a genuine love, compassion, respect of each other. Because even with all of that that's happened, and I know there's hate crimes and things that are happening, regardless of what different areas we come from or what, race or religion we come from, it's happening to all of us, to so many people. But I've had such great experiences, and I know that people really do genuinely, I was traveling even after that. I'd come back to the States for meetings and things like that. And people are just so caring and wonderful. And even in the airports, with TSA and all of that. So I really want to be able to spread that word of, love and respect and genuine authenticity and caring. So that's really sort of like the bigger movement mission piece. And I don't know if that should be something that I also talk about while I'm also, coaching my doctors and doing the other thing with them. Does one just have one movement, one main purpose and passion? Should they be able to align with the business also? Or is it kind of like two separate agendas? That's where I'm at.
So, fast forward to you being 90 or 120 or however long we're going to live, when we get there. Which one would you regret not spending more time on between those two?
The second one, the main thing that I'm really wanting to just be able to educate and just have that common connection globally for people.
So this is in your head and your heart.
Yeah.
The head says, go do the medical professions. It's logical. It makes sense. You can make money. You've been in the industry. You know how to help people. You can do it. And it's not that your heart's not into it. It's still serving and helping and doing what you love, but it's just not the big thing.
Right.
Like if you could go impact, 1,000 dentists over your career versus changing how people see people from different cultures. I mean, that's an easy no-brainer which one you would actually go for. I would have parallel paths, so do both, but recognize your ultimate ambition is to do the second one.
Right. Okay.
Gives you the financial path and the money that makes sense right now to support yourself and to build the team and infrastructure to go do the second one. I had a guy, so when I was doing my tour across the U.S., I had a guy in New Mexico. I want to say New Mexico. No, Tulsa. Anyway, this guy had lots of success. He was also came from the dentist background, and had mega mansion, made millions of dollars, like living the life. And he said, I'm still not fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not fulfilled. I don't know. I mean, I made all this money. I thought that was the answer, but I don't know what to do. I know I want to serve. And so he quickly told the story, and he came to the U.S. from Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And, just imagine the hate and the comments, and he was a strong guy, and he got through it, and he had, empathy, and he said what he realized was he wanted to try to spread more peace, to recognize that what you see in the media is not all Iranians, right? I mean,
Right, exactly. I get it. I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, and so like he shifted to realize, okay, it doesn't mean just close down the dentist business,
Mm-hmm.
but how does he now spend more time focusing on his who was peace, right? So like as you go through Built to Serve, I don't know if you got there yet, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
who I have, right? So his who was
yeah.
peace. He wanted to spread more peace. Like he was lucky to have the connections and the family to be able to get to the US, and he came at a pretty young age. Anyway, so that's now what he's spending his time doing. He's trying to spread the mission. He wants to be on stages speaking about it. He wants to create content around it. And it's slowly spending less time on the dentist stuff and spending more time doing this, because it'll take more time to build up this
Right.
thing. For you to have the skill sets, the experience, the practice, the name recognition, the branding, all of that will take time to build up. But it's where you ultimately want to spend your time. So I just see a lot of parallels with him. And so it's both. You build your business, recognizing that if that's all you do, you're gonna regret it. Like if you just spent the next 20 being dentist, you're gonna feel like you kind of missed out and you could have done more.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, this already is my second career that I'm starting, with the coaching. Because I mean, the reason I got into it is being, having gone through coaching, still getting coaching, having started that journey of that self, the growth and transformation has been so powerful for me. So I definitely want to be able to share and help others with that. But as you said, that bigger picture, the bigger mission, the bigger global movement that I'd like to be able to really, have when I'm 90 years old, looking back. That's important. But then finding, so the next part, like, trying to figure out the word, the credo. I've got like so many words, and like, oh my gosh, how does, like that's the next part, is like which one to pick, in the sense that there's a couple that are speaking to me, but I'm not sure if I'm really going to articulate my message adequately, I guess you could say. And I know I'm being very analytical and, scientific about it.
So what are the ones that you're playing with?
So the words, okay, so originally, this was like a year ago. No, I have not started my YouTube channel. I've got like 2 videos. And I know we talked about this when I met you in Puerto Rico. But so it was connection, and I was calling it Let's Connect. So I have that real passion about connecting people and having that, global connection, and just letting people see the similarities that, we all like in every culture, honestly, there's some kind of flan, caramel, some kind of egg pudding, whatever you want to call it. I swear, in like all countries, really. So I feel like food is definitely somewhere we all can connect,
Yeah, for sure.
But so that was one word. And then I was thinking about it, in terms of embrace. The word embrace was coming to my mind, in the sense of like, if I was doing, embracing yourself and acceptance is different than embrace. Embrace is when you accept with, total enthusiasm and love. Acceptance is, there's still a little bit of tolerance around the word, if you look at the definition, if we're like, really looking at that. So I was thinking of like embracing yourself, so that you love your own unique identity, because I feel like first and foremost, for anyone to, embrace other, cultures and religions and people, they've got to really love themselves and feel comfortable and strong in who they are. And then the second would be embracing others, to have that true, genuine love and respect and honor for others. And then also embracing life. So I don't know. So that was some thoughts that were coming there. The other word that really, to be honest, speaks to me is freedom, or being free. that, and when you say in the book, you know, if you're someone, if that word is really important to you and you're working and you're employed, which I am employed for someone else, for a hospital, that's not, you know, and I'm like, yes, that's why I'm definitely, that's it. This is my last year of being employed, you know, and going full on into, you know, being self-employed. So that word is really important. And then, you know, and then when you asked about what's your favorite song, I'm like, I couldn't think of what my favorite movie is, honestly. But favorite song I realized was that song. What is it? It was in Sundance Kid in that movie. Raindrops are always falling on my head. And
Okay.
that part where it says, you know, because I'm free, nothing's worrying me. I just love that song. I listen to it all the time. I sing it to my almost 11-year-old. I don't think she really wants me to sing it to her all the time, but I do. So, and you know, and that whole, I think just that premise of hope and just the possibilities and, you know, dreams. So those are other words. So I've got my little, all these different words are in here, like that I'm thinking about, but which one really would be clear also in explaining and doing is where I'm a little bit, and I know I can work on a little bit more in the movement makers, which I'm really grateful for, but still.
Often what happens if you have three that you're playing with, those could be your credo, and there's something
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
The one that just came to my mind as you were talking was love, because you mentioned love a whole bunch of times.
Right.
How do you define love? And
Yeah.
for you, it might be freedom, was it connection, and embrace?
Yeah. Freedom, connection. Yeah. So I see what you're saying, like using love as on the top and then the other, finding those freedom. Yeah. Okay.
It's
For
either
sure.
love or something at the top, and then what are the ones underneath? Or it's recognizing that, no, like embrace is at the top, and then how do you embrace? Well, embrace leads to freedom, embrace leads to connection, embrace, right? Like one of them is the mother of the others.
Right. Okay.
They're all still
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
kind of just wrestling with, are they all siblings or is one the mother?
Right.
And that's when,
Exactly.
right? Like which ones are siblings and which one is the mother?
Right.
Does one feel more important? Because you're not saying freedom's not important.
Right.
And you have a weird definition, which is great, right? So if you said, hey, love's at the top, but part of love is freedom. To love yourself and to love your life, you have to have freedom. Most people wouldn't put freedom as a definition of love.
Right.
Stretch, but it makes sense. Like for you, maybe that's it. And so and now things that seem to be all over the place actually make more sense.
Okay.
So from those, you take those four of love, connection, freedom, and embrace. Does one feel like the mother of the others?
I think love does in some ways to me feel more like on top.
So does love equal connection? Do you get connection? Okay.
Yeah. Love goes with connection. Yeah.
Does love equals embrace? Like if you embrace, it leads to love?
Yeah, because embrace is like, you know, cherishing, holding, caring. And yeah, so that would definitely be, and that would be, you know, love of yourself and love of others.
How about freedom? Does freedom lead to love?
For me, it does. It'll make me. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I have freedom, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's time freedom, you know, all kinds of freedoms, freedom of speech, just the freedom to be yourself, you know, really just to feel comfortable, to not hide in, you know, in fear of others, and not to feel like, you know, like that whole stuff comes underneath that, in the sense with when you have the love, and then if you have the freedom of being yourself and not people pleasing, to me that just makes the love. I mean, that's, you know, maybe a bit of a stretch, but I guess to me that's also really important.
I love it. I think there should be at least one in the credo that is weird.
Okay.
Because that's your definition of it.
Yeah.
So I would sit on that, and it should feel more and more right with time if it's the right one. So if you start with, okay, my who is love, and how do I get love, and how do I give love to the world? It's connection, embrace, and freedom for myself and for the people around me.
Right.
And you know, today it's like 65% certain, then tomorrow, hopefully it's 75% and then 80. And it should feel more,
I see.
more
Got
right.
you.
Like, yeah, that's it. Then it's great. If it feels like, no, then it's not it. Then it's fine. It doesn't mean that you don't like love. It just means it's something else. But yeah, same thing for me with believe. I thought it was too big a word. Like, who am I to be the believe guy? Come on, believe. I mean, Celine Dion had her Believe tour, and there's so many believe. Like, it's just too big. But I couldn't find anything else, and it just felt more and more right with time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how we talk ourselves down from the big ideas. Like, who are you to be the love lady?
Well,
Love?
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, who am I? Love is like, so, love. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah.
But
And then
but we talk ourselves down from the big idea. It's not even the people telling us. It's not anybody else telling you you can't do it. It's
right.
you that you can't do it. That's not a good enough reason, right? Like, your who should be massive and aspirational and impossible. So if that's what you feel in your heart, like, you would love to spread more love in the world. You just want people to have more love for themselves and for each other, and that's on for the rest of your life. And that resonates. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Then you're love.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That definitely, yes, starting to make more sense. Thank you. That definitely helps. I think part of it too is, as you said, it's like, yeah, who am I to be the love person? I mean, and there's other people out there. So I think part of it is also trying to find, being unique with the words. But I mean, lots of words like, I loved when you were talking about, I think your friend who's a salsa, with the belong. That really spoke to me. Also, I had some, things, and so I was like, oh, I love that word belong. But then it was like, well, I can't take belong. It already belongs to him now, kind of thing. It's like, I don't want to use, other words. And then, of course, love is used. But then, as you said, it what really speaks to a person is what's the most important thing, not whether or not, it's not like I'm going to come up with a unique word in itself,
Well,
but it's more like what I put behind it.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if I talked about build to serve. I think I did this in your one word. The difference is when you put the hashtag in front of it, you get to create your own definition of it.
Right.
So
you did mention that.
Oh, like, if you ask people what does love mean, they probably pull up some kind of dictionary version. But for you, it's going to be connection, embrace, and freedom. How it's going to be unique. Okay. And so all of your content and all of your sessions and all of your speeches, everything you do should touch on those things somehow. Connection, embrace, and freedom.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you, fast forward and now you're speaking on Brendan's stage, sharing your story. Maybe the first thing you do is have them stand up and hug a stranger.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that's the first thing that you do. Instead of just diving into speech, you say, okay, everybody, I want you to stand up. Where you were at, like, did you see me? I had stand up, high five.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be your thing, is you make everybody stand up and you challenge them. Hey, you know what? I want you to find somebody in this room of the opposite gender who doesn't look like you, that you don't know.
Right.
And go. And then they go and they spend like 4 minutes trying to find somebody, and they give a big hug, and you tell them what to say, like, I love you, and then go back. Right. And even something, I read a quote where it was, hey, if we can, people are saying, can you love somebody for no reason? And you know what? If you can hate people for no reason, why can't you love somebody for no reason?
Yeah.
Right? People just find reason to hate on somebody without even knowing them. So why can't you love somebody for no reason? And if you led your speech, and I'm just giving an idea.
Yeah, sure.
If you led your speech with that of, okay, before we get started, guys, I want you to find somebody from the opposite gender who does not look like you, who you have no idea who they are. Go give them a big hug and say, I love you, and then go sit down again. And that's part of you've taught them a lesson before you even said anything, right? So that's where if you filter everything you're making through, okay, if I'm speaking here, I want these people to feel more love for themselves and for the people around them by the time they leave my session. And I'm going to do that by getting them to connect, to embrace, and to have more freedom. That's what makes you unique. Because people can talk about love, but it's not going to be through those three paths.
Right.
you're given.
Okay, cool. Awesome. One last question. You didn't put like any kind of a nice like smell inside your Built to Serve books, right? Because mine smells like peppermint. I swear. There's nothing in there, right? Because it just arrived yesterday. Like it came because I have it shipped to Florida and then they ship it to me. So I open it now. The only possibility I could think of is a little all natural tooth tonic. The bottle broke in the box, so maybe that's where it's coming from. But it's weird because there's a couple other books that came, and every time, oh, it smells so good. And I'm just like, oh gosh, this is lovely. So maybe you want to do that in your next book, Evan. You may want to put a little peppermint, doTERRA essential oil or something in there.
Mine smells like paper, but
No, mine seriously, it smells so good.
That idea. Listen, maybe we can make that happen. Yeah, if you order from the U.S., it went to my U.S. warehouse. But I don't know. Maybe they're doing something special. We can add that in. I like it.
Yeah, just to be a little bit more unique. But anyways, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be in the Movement Makers program, and with your trainings and everything. So yeah, this is really exciting, and I so appreciate you. One of my words that really speaks to me is humility, genuineness. And because that's one of the things you said, what do you not like in people? I don't like arrogance. I don't like people who are, boastful and bragging. And you are definitely, I tell everyone this, I'm not trying to just, but you really are. You're so humble. So appreciate your help always. I mean, when the first time I met you in January, oh my gosh, it's been a year now. And I didn't even know who you were walking the elevator. I'm like, gosh, you look familiar. Who are you again? I'm like, yeah, I do follow you, but I didn't realize I was going to be meeting you.
Okay.
And you're like, I'm like, what's that? Oh my God. And of course I started gushing, which I'm doing right now, fan gush. But anyway, thank you. And I will see you in the group.
If you want to see another awesome one-on-one I did with an entrepreneur just like you, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You have to replace utility with fun. Instead of trying to go mass consumer, think about like who's the partner that can take you to the consumer, that you're making money in the process.